Let's talk about a fear nobody admits out loud because it sounds dramatic, but quietly controls way too much of your behavior. The fear of being seen. Being seen means someone might notice what you're trying, what you care about, what you failed at, or worse, what you want, and apparently that's unacceptable. So instead, you stay neutral, you stay quiet, you stay low-key, you stay ironic about everything, because irony is emotional body armor. If nothing is sincere, nothing can hurt you. Big brain move, emotionally bankrupt, but efficient. The thing is, you're not scared of visibility itself, you're scared of judgment, and most of that judgment doesn't even exist outside your head. It's imagined commentary from people who are too busy worrying about themselves to remember what you said 5 minutes ago. Your brain doesn't care about that logic though. Your brain treats attention like danger. Attention turns into exposure. Exposure turns into risk. Risk turns into social death. And social death, according to your nervous system, is somehow worse than actual death. Incredible design choice. So you don't post the thing. You don't say the opinion. You don't wear the outfit. You don't start the project. You don't speak unless you're almost completely sure it'll land. Which is funny, because nothing meaningful ever lands perfectly the first time, but you still wait. You wait to be ready. You wait to be confident. You wait to be impressive enough that nobody can criticize you. While you're waiting, life keeps moving without checking in with you. The wild part is that you're already being seen, just not for anything real. People see the safe version, the edited version, the version that never fully commits, never fully risks, never fully says what it means. So you end up feeling invisible anyway. That's the scam. You avoid visibility to avoid pain, but end up with a quieter, slower pain instead, the kind that shows up at 2 a.m., when your brain decides to replay every version of you that never got a chance. And let's be honest, this fear didn't come out of nowhere. At some point, you tried something and it went badly. Maybe you were laughed at, maybe you were ignored, maybe you were misunderstood, maybe someone told you to calm down, be realistic, or stop dreaming so loud. So your nervous system learned a rule: being visible feels unsafe. Now you live like you're constantly being evaluated. You present a version of yourself that won't cause friction. You don't want to be cringe. You don't want to be too much. You don't want to be embarrassing. You don't want to be the person people bring up later. But here's the uncomfortable truth. People already talk, then they forget, then they move on. You're a background character in most people's lives, and that's fine. The problem is that you're doing the same thing to yourself. The fear of being seen doesn't just stop people from judging you, it stops people from choosing you, from understanding you, from connecting with the real you instead of the curated placeholder. Connection requires visibility. You can't be deeply known while hiding. You can't build momentum while staying invisible. You can't live loudly while constantly apologizing for existing. Confidence doesn't show up first either. That's a story we tell ourselves so we can stay comfortable. Confidence shows up after exposure, after doing the thing awkwardly, after sitting through silence, after realizing nothing collapsed and nobody called the authorities. You don't need to become fearless. You just need to get used to discomfort, to the feeling of being watched without immediately shrinking, to being misunderstood without rushing to correct it. Because the version of you that's trying, creating, speaking, and showing up, even imperfectly, is more alive than the version hiding and waiting for permission. Being seen costs comfort. Staying hidden costs years. So yeah, stay safe if you want. Stay small. Stay untouched. Just don't act surprised when you wake up one day and realize you were protecting yourself from a life you never actually lived. And that's not poetic. That's just sad.